Welcome back to This Day. Joining me now is Ian Barnett, Assistant Director with Maintenance and Construction. So nice to meet you. Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so I know we're close, like 1 week out for Thanksgiving. Any plans you have coming up?
Well, I'm going to be traveling out to Arizona to spend some time with my aunts and uncles and my grandparents.
Oh, how nice. That's awesome. Now, do you guys have any family traditions? You cook a big meal or go take a hike or anything? It'll be good weather in Arizona, right?
You know, unfortunately, the big family tradition of all of the family extended coming in, you know, that kind of went away. So now it's just a small get together with our immediate family, but we do go for a hike every year.
Ah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, well, sometimes smaller parties can be funner. I like it smaller when you all can sit around a table and you all can talk. So
Less cleaning.
Yeah, that's true too. Yes. I remember one year my kids were little and I said to my mom, I said, I think we're going to use paper plates this year. Like, I just can't do it. And she was like, what? No way. And so she handled the cleaning.
That's perfect.
So getting into business, department structure, how is the maintenance department structured?
Well, as you can see on the slide here, we have the administrative, facilities, engineering, and maintenance. And underneath those are our 5 main divisions that house all of the work that goes on. Capital projects, the manor alterations where they get their AOKs from the mutuals to do any kind of improvements on their own. Damage restoration that takes care of any of the water intrusions, accidents that may happen. Maintenance operations, who takes care of all of the programs like the dry rot prior to paint, carpentry and paint stuff. And then maintenance services, which takes care of all of the other plumbing, electrical, GRF items that they take care of for the clubhouses.
Awesome. And then going into our next slide, I don't know if I'm out of order here. Is it the capital projects?
It is, yes.
Okay, yes. So capital projects, what's included for these projects?
So capital projects is housed under GRF, and this takes care of a lot of the grounds, the clubhouses. And as you can see here, we have about $1.7 million for paving and concrete repairs throughout the community. There was a $2.9 million enhancement and improvements to Clubhouse 1, $375,000 driving range improvements, and a $2.6 million improvement over at one of the other clubhouses. I believe that's Clubhouse 1 as well. So
is this like a yearly budget? Is this the kind of budgets for each year?
The budgets fluctuate depending on what items need to get taken care of that year. It all goes through an approval process with the board of directors for GRF, and they have to approve all of the capital projects for that year. Okay.
Wow, well, there's a lot of things getting done this year. That's great. And so manor alterations, what's happening with the manors?
So manor alterations, there's been quite a few enhancements there. There was quite a bit of a backlog at one point, and with a partnership between our other assistant director, Mr. Bart Mejia, and the managers of alterations, they were able to streamline and get about 1,400 mutual consents through the system up until September here. There's been some customer service improvements where they update the website in real time that shows the status of the mutual consents that the folks are asking for. They've focused on incoming calls and emails to better assist the community. One of the biggest enhancements, though, was the inclusion of a representative in the customer service area of resident services at Windows 7. And that has been instrumental on fast tracking the process for the residents.
Oh, wow, that's great. That's good news. You never want to stand in line a long time, right?
No, you don't.
So anything
want to
that
get
can
it
make
done
it more efficient.
Right. I do want to put out there, save the date though.
Yeah.
There's an AQMD asbestos removal town hall that is scheduled for February 24th next year. And that's really important for residents that may want to show up and learn more about the process of asbestos removals when it comes to manor improvements or alterations that they may want to do.
Okay, yeah, that's a good note. Keep that in mind, February 24th. And now moving to damage restoration.
Right, so damage restoration takes care of all of the moisture intrusion events that happen whenever there's a plumbing leak, unfortunately. But somebody's got to take care of those repairs. And the restoration of mutual property when there is any kind of an accident, unfortunate events of fire, or any kind of damage, they have to step in and they make it whole again, repairing the building. There's also reimbursement cases going on to recover money from the damage restoration that may be as a result of the residents' errors. And so far, that's cleared more than $725,000 in reimbursements to the mutuals.
Wow, that's great. That's wonderful. And so now maintenance, service, and operations.
Yeah, so maintenance and services and operations is probably the largest of the, well, not probably, but it is the largest of the maintenance and construction department. And these folks take care of all of the facilities, GRF equipment, HVAC, commercial appliances, the pools and the spas, heaters and the boiler equipment. It's also plumbing and electrical, doing maintenance and repairs on all of the manors for anything that is mutually owned, but also there's chargeable services that we do for the members for things that they may own, alterations and such.
So residents can use you guys for their own personal repairs that they need as well. It's not like they have to contact an outside.
Not at all.
Yeah.
We take care of quite a bit of items for the residents, and on both the documents for United and Third on the website, there's a section under policies and procedures that will have maintenance, non-emergency, chargeable services that they can look up and call resident services to schedule those.
Oh, that is so nice and so convenient. I mean, especially just to know the safety, knowing like, okay, I can call this company or I can call and get it taken care of. And I know that's always a problem sometimes. Like my mom with her at her house, she's like, who do I call? Where do I find a worker? That, all those things. So.
And if they have trouble finding that, they can always make a call to resident services. They have all that documentation and they can help the residents through that process as well.
And so these 45,500 work order tickets.
Yeah.
So those were some of like the personal, but also the ones that are mutual. Or is that just the?
So out of that number, you're looking at about 4,300 of those being mutual repairs.
Okay.
Very small number of chargeable services. We would love to have more chargeable services, but it's not mandated that they use us for any of their personal items.
Right, right. Wow, I mean, that is awesome. That's a lot of work that's getting accomplished.
It is. It is quite a bit of work.
Yeah. And so now maintenance on, this is more exterior things.
Some exterior and some interior of the building where it's owned by the mutual. This area covers fumigation of the buildings. 96 buildings were done through the community for just over $500,000. Dry rot and exterior paint. There was 135 buildings covered at a cost of a little over $5 million there, $5.5 million. And then the epoxy lining for both the copper water lines and the waste lines. That's a huge thing that the mutuals are investing in. And in my opinion, it is absolutely needed and one of the best ways for them to spend their money. As you can see on the slide, the repair to the pipes makes it look almost brand new and protects it for another 50 to 75 years.
Wow, that long.
Yeah.
Because when they first put in the pipes, it's like 30 years before they maybe start getting pinhole leaks and that kind of thing?
It really depends, because there's a lot of pipes in the neighborhoods that are, more than 60 years old and they're still in great condition.
Okay.
Sadly, it's just, you can't really pinpoint where those are going to happen.
Yeah, and that would be a huge job to repair those. So this is preventative, and
it is.
Like you said, it lasts another 50 years.
Yes,
That's great.
And for a fraction of the cost of replacement.
Yeah, That's wonderful. And then the last thing you wanted to go over, I believe, is the solar and energy programs.
Yeah, so there's monitoring the facilities. Energy consumption is a big one. We like to keep track of all of the GRF facilities and see how much energy they're consuming and where we can reduce that consumption and streamline any other efficiencies. There's recommended changes that we make to the board of directors to see if they want to improve things that we may find along the way, which most of the time they do. They really want to enhance things for the residents and reduce costs, so that's great. There's monitoring and auditing of the utility bills, the tariff and policy changes and rebates, perform the electrical vehicle charging station administration. There's quite a bit that goes on with that, right? We have to make sure that we're charging enough to pay for the energy consumption when people are charging their vehicles. We also manage the solar power operations and maintenance contracts. Combined between United and Third, they've generated over 1.5 million kilowatt hours, which is a huge, huge savings this year alone. And over the lifetime, they've done 13.5 million kilowatt hours. And that's a huge savings to both of the mutuals when those rebates come through.
Okay, wonderful. How long has the solar been being used by United and Third?
Well, in United, it was installed in 2017, and in Third, it was installed in 2018.
Okay, so this is relatively recent.
It is recent,
and
yes.
That's saved a lot. That's wonderful. And so I know where I got confused at the beginning. I think there was something that you mentioned about how many full-time staff positions are available, and currently how many people are, how many of those positions are filled.
Yeah, so back on, I believe it was slide number 2, it showed that there's 179 full-time positions that are budgeted. However, as it is right now, there's only 163 of those positions that are filled. We're recruiting, those recruitments are underway, trying to fill those positions. And we've got candidates coming through, and we're doing our best to get those positions filled.
Where can someone go if they're interested in looking to see what positions are available? How do they find out about it?
At the bottom of the web page, if they scroll all the way down to the bottom, they'll see a little hyperlink that says careers, and that'll take them right into resident and non-resident. So there's quite a few resident jobs that are listed. One of the big ones that we're recruiting for right now is for one of the items that the Third board voted for was to install pressure regulating valves on all of their buildings to lower the water pressure and in turn hopefully reduce any water intrusions that are caused by copper pipes. And we're looking for somebody that can take a company car, drive around the neighborhood, walk the neighborhood, and take pressure readings so we know which buildings need to be focused on to install those, because not all the buildings need it, but we've identified roughly 650 buildings that are good candidates for it.
Okay.
And we need to get the pressure readings on that.
Right.
So we're looking for a part-time temporary position that'll last anywhere between 3 and 4 months.
Okay. Oh, good to know. And so are you advertising these positions in other places as well?
Yeah, there's job boards that positions are posted on. We have a full-time recruiter in the Human Resources Department that she spends a lot of time looking for and promoting the positions to get the best candidates in to fill these positions.
That's awesome. And does any big business ever have every position filled?
Oh, no. Most companies run anywhere between a 6 and 10% deficit on their full-time staff.
Okay, good to know. And so tell me, for you, Ian, what do you love about working here in the village, working in this position? What does it mean to you?
Well, I absolutely love working with the people, and that includes everybody in the company, but also all of the residents. Some of our residents have so much knowledge in all of the different areas of what we do that They bring a lot of great ideas to the table for us, give a lot of great information, but just enjoying their company when we're talking about all of these things. They have so many stories to tell, and it's a great time. And one of the things that I love most is interacting with the residents.
Oh, that's great. Love that. Well, thank you for being here today and updating us and giving us all the info.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Stay with us because we have announcements and movie previews coming up right after this.